Hey everyone, there's a new cool rising up in Japan, and that is the premium scene, right? Which is crazy because premium was pretty much the dead format last couple of years, I guess. But nowadays it's seeing a resurgence due to some great cards, some renewed interest, and I think it's time we take a look at that because there's always something interesting coming from Japan. Might not be like the most refined ideas, but they're definitely ahead of us in terms of card pool. So it'd be nice to kind of just take a look at what they're doing. Of course, the ban lists are different, and as you can see here, yes, the ban list is, they're running cards that normally we cannot run. But it's always, there's still some ideas that we can extrapolate from that, and also see the progress of where they're looking at, you know, where their scene is at the moment. So let's kind of take a look at this one from the Tochigi VGCs. This one is the first place deck, and it's running Order Colony. And I think you've seen this list quite a few times. This is the Solemn's list, I'd like to say. I basically see any deck that runs like one book nowadays. I just go, oh yeah, it looks like Solemn's list. Might be a few differences, but mostly the idea is there, and it's an idea that works. The deck works. There's nothing really much to talk about it, and we can't even play it anymore, right? Because we can't run Ruination. That's pretty much it. And the G zone is here. Very, very cool. Only running actually just one of the new Mega Colony card. That's interesting. I thought you'd probably won like maybe two, but maybe you just don't have the space, right? Maybe you just don't have the space. Second place, though, is where it starts to get a bit interesting. We have a Dimension Police, and I like to say that Dimension Police has really rose up in terms of popularity overall. It's just overall everywhere. Even like people say, I think this was the most represented deck in one of the tournaments when I was walking around in my Springfest. A lot of people ran Dimension Police. They just didn't even have the new Unibird yet, which is really crazy. But nowadays, Dimension Police is actually quite scary. So this one is just one of the new ways to build. There's actually a lot of ways to build it. People have been incorporating the new Taser Age just to add some more control to the deck. But then a lot of the decks have just basically been around dropping Laurel, like the V Laurel, pumping up your Unibird to like maximum powers, and then just like making your opponent have to deal with it with Guard Restrict, right? So see here, a lot of it is V stuff now, which is great. So the only thing that's like really pricey is the die liners. I'm not a huge fan of like Die Kaiser in premium. It's like a cool card, but I feel like the value that it gives is not as great as like, you know, just running other better cards, especially things like Die Arm, because I'm not seeing it here. Huge fan of Die Arm. But then the G zone, you can take a look. You know, the 4 Geomagras is where you want to be. Got the 2 Unibird. This person's only running 1 X Gallop. I feel like you'd want to run at least 2. Though, you know, he's running a few things like X-Read and Kaiser Leon, right? It's okay. But yeah, overall, Dimension Police has just been rising up in huge popularity, and it's just kind of good to see it. In third place, we have another Dimension Police list. This is a Gallop list, more focused, not on die liner, which is pretty crazy. I'm not sure what to say about this. Much more aggressive. I think this is, you see it a few times in some of the videos. G-Zone lineup is quite straightforward, but apart from that, yeah, Gallop, right? Pretty crazy, Gallop. No die arms though, man. Where's the die arms, dude? Yeah, and then the fourth place we have the Ripple. So Ripple has also been a big deck that's been rising up there because of the new clan collection. You can see that all of this is just to, if you abuse Odysseus, right, you get a lot of excels, and it's very scary. Yeah. Running 7 fronts. The over trigger is pretty much a front too. But you make a lot of Excel circles at the front, trigger some fronts, bam, bam. Like very hard to guard, very annoying. Condensation, there's more ways to get your Odysseus back, right? Shooter Sword, draw, Coral Sword, all the good stuff in an Aquaforce deck nowadays. Aquaforce nowadays can like hit pretty big just by themselves because of like Narissa and like the Coral Assault. They just make like fat columns. Pursuit Assault makes fat columns too. It's quite scary. And then your Genovia stands. They run like Thavises. There's been different ways to add in like as an alt grade 3. Thavis has been a popular choice just because you can retire things. You can kill Honolees and suck it in for like a Genovius and things like that. So overall, pretty interesting build of Aquaforce, and just you'll see a few more, right? Then in the Iwamizawa VGCs, the first place was an Eradicator deck. This one was running the Vowing Reverse build with some Descendants. So think a lot of people have been just saying, yeah, this seems like a really, really good build, because Valiant Reverse just seems like a way better version of Valiant Sword. And I'd have to agree, it is. This one is running the Superior Ride engine, it looks like. We've got the starter into Superior Ride, and just this, so you can just like kind of style on your opponent when they're at like grade 2, right, or grade 1. So yeah, pretty scary. Also, they're just running the vanilla Overtrigger. I feel like because you have like Eradicate now, you can run the Dragon Empire Overtrigger, but hey, no, Overtrigger is no Overtrigger. The rest of the deck I think is pretty standard. All the Eradicator stuff is just, yeah, it's what you want. But ooh, yeah, okay, cool. Then second place we had a Ripple deck, and we see just like the 4 Genovius here and the 4 Thavas. Well, not 2 Thavas, which is what we kind of expect. But this person's already running like 4 Valiers, and that was kind of interesting. You know, you can use this to kind of just lock your opponent's Vanguard, or lower their power as well, and just like bash them when you have like a lot of Excel circles. You're probably never going to use the first effect, simply because, hey, once you've invested so much money in your Excel circles, why bother like losing it, right? Seems like a bad idea, right? Seems like a bad idea. Though I guess you could probably like use it to get a full field first, and then start doing the suck-ins plays of Odysseus to start getting at Genovius, right? Which seems okay. And then the rest of the deck, you know, you get your good stuff, Aqua Force with big power, right? With the big power. This one's actually not running any Narissa though, so that's it's a bit of a interesting one. Running some Elenias to be able to call out some free stuff. But yeah, otherwise just another way to build Ripples. Then we have a Beatrice deck. Beatrice control. It's it's much more Beatrice focused. I'm not sure how to say like how good the build is. I see like 1 Navigator and a bit like usually you probably want to run like maybe a few more, right? And just like try and draw it ASAP and like abuse it. But I'm not a Grand Blue player. I hate Grand Blue. I'm done with Grand Blue pretty much. But yeah, also the 4 draw PGs. I feel like you can mix up the PG lineup too, right? But yeah, this is just a kind of Grand Blue deck. And then in the last 4th place, we have another Dimension Police, one that we've been kind of talking about before. This one kind of just more a bit over the place, I'd like to say. This guy's at least running 2 Diarms, which is great, but only like 2 Laurel, only 2 V Laurel. A lot more crits though. I noticed like a lot of the Dimension players, Police players run less crits, and then can run a few more draws. But this guy is just going, hey man, let's just max out the crits. Let's get max out well, not max out the linkers, run 3 linkers, and call it a day, right? Call it a day. And then running some of the Zeal package, which is interesting. I still kind of like the lineup though. You know, 2 Gallop and 2 Unibird I think is where I'd like to be with the deck. And then the 3 Geomaglass, okay, you know, 3, 4, whatever. But yeah, I think the core is still like 2 Unibird. You can pump up that Unibird to massive power, or you just like restand with the X Gallop against like the unfavorable matchups. So that is kind of it for all the premiums. I'm gonna sneak in another list because I'm gonna sneak in another tournament because in English it's called V Premium, right? So we have this Battle System V Premium list. The reason why I want to kind of look at V Premium is because of Clan Collection. Basically, Clan Collection has been a big powerhouse, and I want to see the impacts. Are we seeing heaps of Holy Shines? And the answer is actually not that much, which is pretty weird. It's like, I don't know how to say. Like, take that as you will. But yeah, the first place is actually a Battle Sister deck. Battle Sister, of course, is one of the decks that definitely can pop off very, very quickly, very soonish, very quick, before decks can set up. And that is still kind of like a Gurgit weakness, I think. Sure, they can get 3XL, but before 3XL, they're still kind of vulnerable, right? So here is Battle Sister list. I like it. I like Battle Sister. They're pretty cool. And just create your opponent, hope they're dead, run fast, drop your whole hand, let's go, right? So that's pretty cool. Then in second place, we had a Dragonic Overlord Rebirth, which again is another big deck that can just pop off really quickly. Of course, Overlord is Overlord, Japan Overlords. But they have been rising up in popularity again, simply because of the Rebirth, adding in just more kind of plays. I guess. So again, this is another deck that can pop off very, very quickly, and before things like Go can get their like super combo off on you and win. And then, so that's pretty cool, I guess. It's pretty cool. Third place, there was Narukami, so Vanquisher. Vanquish is a bit weird. Kind of, you can't pop off that early, but on their grade 3 turn, they can pop off, right? So, okay, still a good deck. And then in fourth place, there was a Great Nature, Vox, Tester Fox. This one I'm not sure on. This one I'm not sure on. So, yeah, that's all the lists. That's all the lists from the past few weeks. I've just been kind of busy because of Springfest and just people over here having fun, so I haven't really caught up on this, but just kind of want to see, because, you know, premium in Japan, more people into premium is great, more ideas flowing around, and then banlist can be better. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time, and let me know in the comments what you guys think. Bye.